Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel for part 2 of The Empty Countries, the demographic time bomb. If you missed part 1, we dove into the crises hitting Japan, Ukraine, Italy, Germany, South Korea, Spain, and Greece, shrinking populations, aging societies, and the chaos they're unleashing. Today, we're shifting focus to 10 more nations on the brink between 2025 and 2030. These aren't just numbers. They're stories of fading futures, economic earthquakes, and societies teetering on the edge. We'll explore the stats, the reasons, and the ripple effects that could reshape our world. Let's jump in, starting with the giant that's starting to crumble. First up, China. Oh man, China. The world's most populous nation is flipping the script in a terrifying way. By 2030, projections show China's population dipping below 1.4 billion. With a loss of over 10 million people in just 5 years. Its fertility rate? A dismal 1.09 births per woman in 2024, way below the 2.1 needed to sustain a population. Aging is the monster here. By 2030, nearly 28% of Chinese will be over 65, up from today's levels, creating a silver tsunami. Migration? It's internal chaos. Young folks flock to cities, leaving rural areas deserted, while outbound emigration to places like the US and Canada siphons talent. Why is this happening? The one-child policy's ghost haunts them. Decades of forced limits crushed family norms. Now sky-high living costs, brutal work culture, that infamous 996 grind, and women's push for careers over kids keep birth rates plummeting. Add pollution, housing bubbles, and economic uncertainty. And who wants to bring a child into that? Picture a young couple in Shanghai, both grinding 12-hour days, staring at apartment prices that could buy a mansion elsewhere. No wonder they're opting for pets over babies. The fallout? Economically, labor shortages could slash GDP growth by half over the next 30 years. Factories idle, innovation stalls as the workforce shrinks by 100 million by 2050. Socially, millions of little emperors, only children, face caring for aging parents alone, straining healthcare and pensions. Politically, Xi's regime pushes pronatal policies like cash incentives, but they're failing. Imagine a superpower hollowed out. That's China's nightmare unfolding. Villages turned ghost towns, schools closing, and a generation sandwiched between work and elder care. It's not just about numbers. It's families fracturing under the weight. Shifting gears to Taiwan, where this tech powerhouse is facing a demographic cliff that's as steep as its mountains. By 2030, Taiwan's population is projected to drop to around 23.5 million from about 23.8 million in 2025, a subtle but accelerating decline that's set to worsen. Its fertility rate hovers at a rock-bottom 0.9 to 1.0 births per woman, one of the lowest globally, far from the replacement level. Aging is explosive. Taiwan is already a super-age society, with over 20% of its people over 65, and that figure could climb higher by 2030 as the working-age population shrinks dramatically. Projections show a loss of millions in productive workers by mid-century. Migration adds fuel to the fire. Brain drain sees young talents fleeing to the US or mainland China for better opportunities, while immigration from Southeast Asia helps but doesn't fully offset the outflows. Why are things so dire? Economic pressures are huge. Soaring housing costs in urban hubs like Taipei make starting a family feel impossible, and long work hours leave little room for parenting. Women, increasingly educated and career-focused, are delaying or skipping marriage altogether, influenced by societal shifts and the high cost of child-rearing. Add geopolitical tensions with China, which create uncertainty and stress, and you've got a perfect storm deterring births. Think of a young engineer in Hsinchu Science Park, the heart of Taiwan's semiconductor industry, working overtime amid constant threats of invasion. Family planning takes a back seat. The consequences are shaking Taiwan to its core. Economically, labor shortages threaten its dominance in global tech supply chains. The working-age population could plummet by 5.6 million between 2021 and 2050, hitting industries like electronics and manufacturing hard. Growth prospects dim as productivity lags, with experts warning of stalled GDP increases and rising dependency ratios. Socially, An aging tsunami overwhelms healthcare and pensions. Imagine hospitals overflowing with elders while schools sit empty. A stark reversal from Taiwan's vibrant youth culture. Politically, the government rolls out subsidies for IVF and childcare, but uptake is low amid cultural shifts. Tensions with China complicate immigration policies, potentially leading to social divides. Taiwan's miracle economy risks becoming a cautionary tale, its innovation hubs silenced by silence in nurseries. Now, let's head to Poland, where history's echoes are amplifying a modern crisis. Projections show Poland's population dipping from 37.7 million to about 36.5 million by 2030, a drop of over a million. Fertility rate, 1.3 births per woman, one of Europe's lowest. Aging hits hard. By 2040, the working age population shrinks 20%, with elders soaring. Migration? Massive outflows to Germany and the UK for better jobs, draining youth. Why? Economic insecurity, post-communism, high housing costs, and women's rights battles. Strict abortion laws scare off potential parents. Young Poles prioritize careers and travel over kids in an unstable world. Envision a Warsaw couple, both in precarious gig jobs, facing bills that swallow dreams of a family home. It's a daily reality pushing births aside. Impacts? Economy. Labor gaps in tech and manufacturing slow growth, despite EU funds. Socially, villages empty, schools close, and healthcare buckles under aging boomers. Politically, PiS's family incentives flop, fueling migration debates and EU tensions. Poland's vibrant culture risks fading as generations thin, leaving historic cities with more monuments than children playing in the streets. Over to Bulgaria, the EU's fastest shrinking nation, a heartbreaking tale of loss. By 2030, population could fall to 6.2 million from 6.4 million, continuing a 22% drop since 1989. Fertility, 1.5 births per woman, below replacement. Aging, over 25% over 65 by 2030, working age plunging. Migration, youth flee to Western Europe for wages, emptying villages. Reasons? Poverty, corruption, and post-Soviet trauma. Low salaries, Europe's lowest, make families unaffordable. Women juggle work and home without support. Romania shares the pain, a nation bleeding people. Projections, from 19 million to 18 million by 2030, a million lost. Fertility, 1.6, dipping low. Aging, working age down 15% by 2040. Migration, over 2 million emigrated since 1990 to Italy and Spain. Why? Ceausescu's brutal policies scarred families. Now economic woes, corruption, and poor healthcare deter births. Youth seek opportunities abroad. Imagine Bucharest's bustling streets, but behind the scenes, families video call loved ones in Rome. Remittances their lifeline. Consequences? Economy. Labor shortages in IT and construction despite growth. Socially, rural depopulation, elder care crisis. Politically, remittances help, but voter apathy rises. Romania's spirit endures, but at what cost? Traditions passed down through generations now hang by a thread as demographics dwindle. Portugal's sunny shores hide a demographic storm. By 2030, population slips to 10 million from 10.3 million. Fertility, 1.4 among lowest. Aging, 30% over 65 by 2050. Migration, youth emigrate to UK, France for jobs. Causes? Economic crash post, 2008, high youth unemployment, delayed marriages. Women balance careers without affordable childcare. Think of Lisbon's vibrant cafes filled with tourists, but echoing with the absence of local kids' laughter. Impacts? Economy, tourism, and tech suffer labor voids. Socially, lonely elders closing schools. Politically, immigration policies shift, but resistance grows. Portugal's fado songs might soon echo in empty halls, a melancholic soundtrack to decline. Hungary's under the spotlight next, Orban's fortress facing internal erosion. Population, down to 9.4 million by 2030 from 9.5 million. Fertility, 1.5, stubborn low. Aging, Working age shrinks 10% by 2030. Migration. Outflows to Austria, Germany. Why? High aspirations clash with wages, plus political instability deters families. Orban's family perks help some, but not enough. Visualize Budapest's grand architecture, standing tall while its population quietly slips away. Fallout? Economy. Manufacturing, auto sectors hit by shortages. Socially, cultural loss as youth leave. Politically, anti-immigrant stance backfires amid needs. Hungary's pride could turn to isolation, its fiery spirit dimmed by empty nests. Latvia's Baltic beauty masks a vanishing act. By 2030, population falls to 1.7 million from 1.8 million. Fertility, 1.5. Aging, over 25% elderly. Migration, massive to EU, 30% loss since 1990. Reasons? Soviet scars, economic gaps, Russian tensions push emigration. Youth seek better lives abroad. Riga's cobblestone streets, once alive with song, now whisper of those who left. Consequences? Economy, brain drain stalls innovation. Socially, depopulated regions, identity crisis. Politically, EU integration helps, but sustainability wanes. Latvia risks becoming a memory, its forests reclaiming what people abandon. Neighbor Lithuania echoes the pain. Population, to 2.6 million by 2030 from 2.8 million. Fertility, 1.4. Aging, working age down 20%. Migration, westward exodus. Why? Economic insecurity, NATO fears, poor family support. Vilnius's medieval charm hides families torn by distance. Impacts? Economy, growth slows despite recovery. Socially, villages vanish. Politically, defense spending rises amid threats. Lithuania's resilience tested, its amber shores lapped by waves of change. Finally, Thailand, tropical paradise turning gray. By 2030, population stabilizes, but working age drops to 36 million from 43 million. Fertility, 1.3. Aging, 20% over 65. Migration, inflows from neighbors, but outflows is skilled. Causes? Successful family planning backfired, urbanization cost deter kids. Bangkok's neon lights mask quiet homes without children's voices. Fallout? Economy. Labor shortages hit tourism, manufacturing, GDP per capita growth down 0.86%. Socially, elder care strains. Politically, policies shift to immigration. Thailand's smile might fade, beaches empty of locals. Zooming out, this isn't isolated, it's a global quake. By 2030, these declines could slash global workforce by millions, spiking migration wars, straining resources. Economies pivot to AI. But inequality surges as rich nations poach talent from poor. Socially, cultures blend or vanish. Politically, power shifts to youthful Africa, India. Our world reshapes. Innovation booms in scarcity, but at human cost. From China's factories to Taiwan's chip plants, the empty cradles echo worldwide, forcing us to rethink growth borders and what it means to thrive. Phew, heavy stuff. These empty countries warn us. Act on families, migration, economies now. What shocked you most? Comment below. Like, subscribe for more. Share awareness is key. Until next time, stay vigilant.